The winner is Diane Keaton and Annie Hall.
Here we go again. This is Celeb Central, bringing you the hottest moments from Hollywood's most timeless stars. And today, we're counting down the 10 most iconic Diane Keaton moments that prove no one did charm, wit, and fearless individuality quite like her. From Annie Hall to Something's Gotta Give, Diane Keaton didn't just act, she owned every scene, every outfit, and every moment. Let's dive in. Number 10. The Annie Hall Fashion Revolution. We start where all great style revolutions begin, in a movie that changed fashion forever. When Annie Hall hit theaters in 1977, audiences didn't just fall in love with Woody Allen's offbeat romance. They fell in love with Diane Keaton's wardrobe. Those loose men's trousers, that oversized vest, the tie, the fedora, the attitude. It wasn't just a costume, it was her. In fact, much of the film's wardrobe came straight from Keaton's own closet. Costume designer Ruth Morley reportedly encouraged her to be yourself, and Diane did exactly that. The result? A new wave of androgynous, intellectual, chic fashion that flipped every idea of femininity in Hollywood on its head. Women everywhere copied the look. Ralph Lauren sales spiked. Fashion magazines called it the Annie Hall effect. But what made it truly iconic wasn't the clothes, it was how she wore them. Keaton didn't care about being sexy by traditional standards. She cared about being herself. And that authenticity changed style culture forever. Number 9. The Oscar-winning moment for Annie Hall. Next up, the night Diane Keaton became Hollywood royalty. It was 1978, and she walked on stage at the 50th Academy Awards to accept the Oscar for Best Actress for Annie Hall.
Annie Hall was a wonderful experience for me, and I just would like to say thanks to Woody and thank you. Thank you very much.
It was her first nomination, and she won it for a character that blurred the line between fiction and reality. Annie was Diane, and Diane was Annie. Her acceptance speech was short, humble, and a little shy, just as fans expected. But what really made that moment memorable was what it represented. A woman who defied every Hollywood norm, who wore men's clothing, spoke awkwardly, and refused to conform, was now being celebrated for it. Her win signaled a turning point. Quirky, real, neurotic women could be leading ladies, and Diane Keaton had just become their queen. Number 8. Kay Adams in The Godfather. Before the hats and ties, Diane Keaton had already made history in one of the greatest films ever made. Her role as Kay Adams in The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2 remains one of the most haunting portraits of innocence lost in cinema. When we first meet Kay, she's Michael Corleone's all-American girlfriend, pure, hopeful, unaware of the darkness she's marrying into. But as Michael, played by Al Pacino, descends deeper into the mafia world, Kay becomes the emotional mirror, the one person still trying to hold on to morality. That final door-closing scene in The Godfather? Pure cinematic perfection. Keaton's expression, heartbreak mixed with realization, captures everything the film's about in one silent moment. And by The Godfather Part 2, her confrontation with Michael remains one of the rawest, most devastating scenes in film history. It proved that beneath her offbeat humor and charm, Diane Keaton had dramatic fire that could burn through the screen.
Michael, why did you come here? Why? What do you want of me after all this time without even calling or writing?
Number 7. The Something's Gotta Give breakdown scene. Number 7 brings us to the moment that made middle-aged heartbreak look like art. In 2003's Something's Gotta Give, Diane Keaton gave one of her most emotional and funniest performances as Erica Berry, a divorced playwright who falls for Jack Nicholson's notorious bachelor. The scene that everyone remembers? That kitchen breakdown. It's so raw, so human, so Keaton. The performance earned her an Oscar nomination and reminded everyone that vulnerability doesn't fade with age, it deepens. In a Hollywood obsessed with youth, Diane Keaton proved that maturity could be magnetic, and that scene became a meme, a mood, and a masterclass in emotional truth. Number 6. The wine and wisdom of book club. At number 6, the moment Diane Keaton became the voice of midlife liberation. In 2018's book club, she joined Jane Fonda, Candice Bergen, and Mary Steenburgen in a comedy about 4 lifelong friends rediscovering passion through, you guessed it, 50 Shades of Grey. Keaton plays Diane, a widow whose daughters treat her like she's fragile. But through laughter, love, and more than a little red wine, she learns to take control again and finds romance with Andy Garcia. The movie wasn't revolutionary for its plot, it was revolutionary for its attitude. It said women in their 60s and 70s aren't invisible. They're vibrant, funny, desirable, and they're still writing new chapters. And no one embodied that message better than Diane Keaton, who turned every line into wisdom with a wink. Don't give up, she seems to say in every scene. Life's too short to skip dessert or good wine. Number 5, Golden Globe speech for Woody Allen's Lifetime Achievement Award. At number 5, a moment that had everyone talking. Diane Keaton's Golden Globe speech in 2014. When Woody Allen received the Cecil B. DeMille Award, Keaton took the stage to accept it on his behalf. Wearing her signature suit and charm, she gave a speech that was equal parts tribute, tease, and toast. She called Allen's female characters real women, praised his creative genius, and ended by singing the Girl Scouts anthem. Yes, really. It was classic Keaton. Weird, witty, unpredictable, and completely unapologetic. Even in a moment that could have been stiff and formal, she turned it into performance art. Love her or not, you couldn't take your eyes off her. Number 4, Father of the Bride, the heart of the family. At number 4, Diane Keaton became America's favorite mom. In Father of the Bride 1991 and its sequel, she played Nina Banks, the calm, grounded counterbalance to Steve Martin's panicking father. The role showed a softer, more maternal side of Keaton. She wasn't the eccentric artist or neurotic lover. She was the emotional center holding her family together. Her chemistry with Steve Martin made every scene sparkle, and her warmth turned a simple family comedy into a timeless classic. Decades later, people still quote that movie at weddings, because deep down, everyone wants a mom like Nina Banks, someone graceful, patient, and endlessly understanding. Keaton didn't steal the spotlight, she anchored it, and that's the mark of a true star. Number 3, Red Carpet Rebel, the queen of hats and oversized suits. You can't talk about Diane Keaton without talking about her fashion. At number 3, we honor the Red Carpet Rebel, the woman who never played by the style rules and somehow set the standard anyway. While others wore gowns and diamonds, Keaton showed up in wide-brimmed hats, tailored suits, and chunky belts that looked straight out of an artist's studio. Every time she walked a red carpet, she made a statement. Elegance doesn't have to mean conformity. Her look became her armor, a visual extension of her confidence. Designers like Thom Browne and Ralph Lauren still cite her as an influence. And in an era of fast fashion and fleeting trends, Keaton remains proof that true style isn't about following, it's about owning who you are. Number 2, unfiltered and unforgettable in interviews. Number 2, and we could honestly make an entire video about this one, Diane Keaton's interviews. From talk shows to red carpets, she's one of the most delightfully unpredictable guests in Hollywood. She flirts, she jokes, she loses her train of thought, she laughs at herself, and it's never an act. There's her legendary Ellen DeGeneres appearance where she talked about day drinking and couldn't stop giggling, her chaotic Jimmy Fallon moments where she compliments his tie mid-sentence, or the time she admitted to collecting empty wine bottles and saving them as decor. She doesn't care about being polished, she cares about being present. That's what people love about her. She's weird, witty, real, and a reminder that confidence doesn't come from control. It comes from comfort in your own skin. In a sea of rehearsed sound bites, Diane Keaton is pure, glorious chaos, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
I think you're beautiful. Oh, wow. I do. I mentioned you in my book, you know.
I know. I saw that you
just...
Number 1, the legacy. Timeless, fearless, unapologetically herself. And finally, number 1. The most iconic Diane Keaton moment isn't just one scene, speech, or outfit. It's her entire existence as a force of authenticity in Hollywood. For over 5 decades, she's done what few actors dare to do: evolve without losing herself. From the neurotic charm of Annie Hall to the elegance of Father of the Bride, from the emotional honesty of Something's Gotta Give to the humor of Book Club, she's proven one thing again and again. Diane Keaton doesn't chase trends, she creates them. She's shown that age, gender, and convention are no match for individuality. Her career is a masterclass in being unforgettable, not by being loud, but by being real. When you watch her on screen, you don't see a character, you see a woman who lives unapologetically, laughs loudly, dresses boldly, and feels everything deeply. And that's why, from The Godfather to the Golden Globes, from Hats to Heartbreak, Diane Keaton remains one of Hollywood's true originals. Not because she fit in, but because she never tried to. And there you have it, the 10 most iconic Diane Keaton moments. From Annie Hall's menswear revolution to the unfiltered charm of her interviews, she's proof that timeless doesn't mean predictable. If you loved this countdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more celebrity deep dives, and tell us in the comments, what's your favorite Diane Keaton moment? Because one thing's for sure, no one does Diane quite like Diane.